Hey guys, good morning. Welcome back to our channel, the Eaton Squad. My name is Addie. So for today's video is about the Zero on COVID campaign, now switching to living with COVID. So what countries are finally reopening to revive their tourism during the time of the pandemic? Details coming right up.
Behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
So I guess these countries who are going to reopen their country to revive their tourism says enough is enough. We have been waiting for so long. We have been implementing lockdowns and all that. We have been doing good in our vaccination rollout, but we can't just shut our country down, especially our economy, especially our tourism, who is bringing more money into the country. So these four countries are planning on reopening anytime soon. Before, they were doing the Zero on COVID campaign. Now they are switching to living with COVID-19. So the living with COVID-19 campaign has actually started in the Western countries, European countries. As you heard the news, even in the States, most of the people over there, probably around 70 to 80%, I am not sure what's the exact data on how many Americans are fully vaccinated already. But despite of that, despite of so many variants coming out with this virus COVID-19, that has not really stopped the US to reopen for everybody. So restaurants are reopening, amusement parks are reopening, then people doesn't have to wear their mask if they are fully vaccinated. So the neighboring Asian countries are ready to copy that. These are Malaysia, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Thailand. So they are seriously reopening their country to revive their economy, especially their tourism industry. So here are the details with regards on their take on that. Living with COVID-19. From June through August, many Southeast Asian countries introduced strict restrictions in an attempt to control the COVID wave. Malaysia and Indonesia imposed lockdowns nationwide, while Thailand and Vietnam put in place lockdowns in high-risk regions. Under these restrictions, millions of people were told to stay at home whenever possible and prohibited from domestic travel. Schools closed, public transportation was suspended, and gatherings were banned. The peak has just barely passed, and vaccination rates are dismally low in some places, but already some governments are beginning to reopen. Vietnam plans to reopen the resort island of Phuoc to foreign tourists starting next month. Authorities cited economic pressure for the decision, with the tourism minister saying the pandemic had seriously hurt the tourism industry. So far, fewer than 7% of the population have been fully vaccinated, nowhere near 70 to 90% cited by experts as requirement for herd immunity. Thailand plans to reopen its capital, Bangkok, and other major destinations for foreign tourists by October, also hoping to revive its flailing tourism industry, which accounted for more than 11% of the country's GDP in 2019. About 21% of the Thai population has been fully vaccinated. Indonesia, which has inoculated more than 16% of its population, has already eased restrictions, allowing public spaces to reopen and permitting factories to return to full capacity. Foreign tourists might be allowed into certain parts of the country, including the resort island Bali, by October. Malaysia, which has one of the highest vaccination rates in the region, with more than 56% of its population fully inoculated, a cluster of 99 islands and the country's prime holiday destination to domestic tourists last week. Several states have also begun relaxing restrictions for vaccinated people, including dining in at restaurants and interstate travel. In some ways, the region's rapid reopening reflects the living with COVID approach in Western countries like the United Kingdom and parts of the United States where daily life has essentially resumed as normal. Among Southeast Asian countries, Singapore has openly come out in shifting away from the previous zero COVID policy. And though others have not made any such formal announcements, their swift reopening suggests governments are weighing the long-term sustainability of the strategy. So I guess our neighboring Asian countries is not stopping from reopening anymore. I guess the real question to that is, when will Philippines follow? Or when will Philippines eventually open up the country for foreign tourists, especially for fully vaccinated, and move on from zero COVID policy to living with COVID-19 approach? As we all know, the Philippines likes to mimic other Asian countries on what they are doing when it comes to their restrictions, their policies, their protocols, arrival, departure, and all that. You always hear that from different officials that look at Thailand, they are doing this. Look at Malaysia, they are doing this. Hoping that these Asian countries now reopening to revive their economy, especially their tourism industry, would give a wide awakening for the Philippines to eventually think of this approach, which is living with COVID-19. Because this virus is not going anywhere anytime soon. We have to learn how to live with the virus. We have to make guidelines that works for everybody while the virus is still present. Because if their goal is trying to zero out with COVID-19, it's never gonna happen. That virus will continue to mutate. That virus will continue to have different variants. That virus is going to be in for a long haul. So hopefully, the Philippine government will really start seeing that living with COVID-19 approach. That way, everybody can move on. Everybody can restart their lives with COVID-19 around, as well as everybody being reunited. So I'm really hoping with this huge step from our neighboring Asian countries, Philippines will start to see what really is the real deal, what really is the reality with COVID-19 that's going to stay for a long time. So they really need to get their act together, and for sure, the Philippines doesn't want to be behind with all this reopening from Asian neighboring countries. So what you guys' take on it? That now Malaysia, Thailand, Vietnam, and Indonesia are reopening to revive their economy, especially their tourism industry, anytime soon. Do you think the Philippines will follow? Or you think the Philippines is just going to continue what they are doing now? So this is our quick update for today, guys. Please like this video, share this video with your families. This will really help out our channel. And I thank you all so much for the continued support in our channel, the Eaton Squad. I welcome all new subscribers and to our regular subscribers and to those who are subscribed to our channel. Thank you for the continued support to our channel. I hope to see you guys in our next travel update. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless everyone. Bye.